Oh yeah, Retroville hype, Neutron represent. Anyway, it's time for the Retroville levels, and I always talk about how much I like Retroville levels. That's not going to change. That's not going to change at all during this video. I really like Retroville. I really like Jimmy Neutron. I really like Retroville levels in video games. What I don't like is the Retroville slide. It's kind of bland, really, which is a little weird, because there's a lot they could put in here. I guess most of it is villain related, though, because some weird shit happens in Jimmy Neutron, you know, but I guess most of it is villain related weird shit. So I don't know. I don't know if anyone normal would realize all the references to various Jimmy Neutron villains, but I would, and I want some of that.
What is that?
Sorry, sometimes I scare easily, okay?
My girl-eating plant! It's grown to the size of a building!
You really need to get control of yourself.
We've got to get that piece it just swallowed!
Can you make her stop screaming?
So hey, this level takes place in Retroland, which is double cool, because Retroland is awesome. It also has really fucking spooky music in it, which I guess is appropriate for this being Retroland, which solely exists for spooky-related plot elements, basically. Like in the original film and in that one episode where they dared someone to stay overnight in Retroland. But it's like excessively spooky music, which I'm not complaining about. And it kind of fits with the aesthetic they have going here. It's really dark here, it's clearly nighttime, or super nighttime, like pitch black void nighttime, and the carnival aesthetic really fits with that. You know, the bright neon lights clashing with the darkness. Really cool. Again, very, very strong artistic design and atmosphere, and it's obvious the developers cared a whole lot about that sort of thing, and I'm proud of them for it. You know, even though the gameplay variety may not be here, there's the variety in scenery, and it's hard for me to get bored of this game because of that. After you make it past those Danny Phantom levels, anyway. Like, here in just a moment, we're going to be climbing on a Ferris wheel, and that's kind of cool. You know, it doesn't feel any different from any of the other platforming, but still, we're climbing on a Ferris wheel. That's pretty rad. You know, I can never tell whether Retroland is supposed to be part carnival, because it seems like it is, and this music is telling me it is. So it's part, like, high-budget theme park, part carnival, I guess. I love this Ferris wheel because you can see everything from up here. And it looks really cool. It looks like an actual theme park. It's really nice. But anyway, something that really bothers me about the Dib and Jimmy Neutron team-up is that they could have easily had special dialogue between Dib and Jimmy Neutron about a number of things. Like, Jimmy's just used to this weird shit. He just kind of accepts it, and the world kind of acknowledges all this weird shit going on. But Dib's world doesn't. And Dib should be freaking out about all this shit. Like a talking sponge, you know? Dib should be a little surprised. And there's an opportunity for humorous dialogue exchange between Jimmy and Dib about that sort of thing. Doesn't have to be a lot of dialogue, but still, you know? Having that would mean something, would mean a lot. Oh yeah, now seems like a good time to bring something up that I keep meaning to bring up but always forget about, even though I keep reminding myself. The continuity of the Nicktoons series is a little weird, because it's unclear in the continuity of the Nicktoons series whether Toybots actually happened. Because this game seems to be a direct sequel to Battle for Volcano Island. You know, we see the Magu, we go into the Magu lair, find Magu coins, you know, stuff from Battle for Volcano Island. Toybots, on the other hand, doesn't really seem to have any direct reference to previous games in the series, making it a little strange. You know, I'm not sure if Toybots is supposed to take place in the same storyline, or if it even matters, but I just always thought that was weird, that Globs of Doom contained references to Battle for Volcano Island, and Toybots did not. Unless you count game mechanics as references, but I don't think you should. But, you know, I also wouldn't be surprised if Globs of Doom and Toybots were in development at the same time. considering they were both developed by different developers and they came out only 1 year apart. So, you know, maybe they both couldn't be content continuations of Battle for Volcano Island. Or something like that. But they did both have the same writer, which I think shows. This dude writes some really weird stuff. And he writes SpongeBob better than the SpongeBob writers at the time wrote SpongeBob. So that, you can appreciate that about it. You don't really have to fight even half of these enemies that I'm fighting, by the way. You can just walk past them. I'm just fighting them for fun. But yeah, this is such a weird combination of carnival games and then theme park attractions. So bizarre. And the music really brings that home. Because some of the music is like, haha, this is a carnival fair. It's a cheap carnival fair, and then it gets all weird and freaky again. Hey, look, it's Jimmy's rocket. I don't know what that's doing here. Maybe they replaced it? That would only make sense if they replaced that rocket that Jimmy took. Because that was a ride, you know? Kind of surprised they didn't, you know, sue Jimmy. But maybe in the wake of him saving the world, they just felt a little better about him taking it. I guess it's arguable whether he saved the world or just everyone's parents, but the point is that he cleaned up his mess. And he just had to steal a bunch of toys to do it. A bunch of really expensive theme park toys. You know, I always thought Retroland never made sense, because what kind of theme park opens on a school night? What kind of theme park opens its grand opening on a school night? That just doesn't make any goddamn sense from a marketing perspective. From any perspective, really, it's just nonsense. Why would you do that? This section, by the way, where you're supposed to make it through the Octopuke's tentacles without getting hit, I almost always get wrecked here. It just completely destroys me. And I know it looks simple, okay? You don't gotta tell me it looks simple. I know. I'm playing. But it just completely destroys me most of the time. Maybe because I'm not used to having to think while playing this. This isn't a game you play to think, really. But in spite of that, I'll keep coming back to it. I'm sure this Let's Play won't be the last time I play Globs of Doom, you know? And I can't say that about some of my Let's Plays. Granted, most of the Let's Plays I play, most of the games I Let's Play are games I genuinely enjoy and like playing. But I can't say that about all of them, you know? Because even though I like most of them, some of them I just don't want to play again. So welcome to the actual Retroville part of Retroville, and like I said, I think it does the suburban aesthetic really well. A lot better than the other suburban level in this video game. But anyway, I was talking about how I would play this game again after this Let's Play is over. Like, not immediately after it's over, but you know, I'd play it again. And I said I tend to play mostly games I enjoy when I record them, and that's true. But you know, for the longest time I was worried I played too many games I don't enjoy, and that was starting to define the games I play. It's just playing weird shit I didn't like, but thought was worth sharing. But no, most of it's stuff I like and also think is worth sharing. After Deep Black, there was a noticeable influx of me playing a lot of shit that I probably shouldn't have, but I still don't regret doing that. Like, yeah, playing Forbidden Memories was torturesome, but for every Forbidden Memories, I get to play Globs of Doom. So it's really not all that bad. Like, when I look back on these experiences, they're mostly positive. And even though I hated Forbidden Memories, that was a really good Let's Play. I had a lot of fun, talked with a lot of people about Yu-Gi-Oh! Not a lot of talking about Nicktoons, but, you know, what is there to say that hasn't been said thousands of times already about Nicktoons? Nicktoons doesn't really have a trading card game, unlike Yu-Gi-Oh! Does it? At least not one that took off. You know, I like a lot of games some people might consider to be not so good, and that's fine. You're allowed to like games that other people might consider to be not so good. You don't have to like something if it's good or hate something if it's bad. Like, I don't think this game is very good. As I've said multiple times, I do not think this is a particularly good video game I'm playing right now. But I'm enjoying it. I call bullshit on that, but that's okay, we'll just do it again. I'm having a good time playing this, you know? Danny's having a good time playing this. He doesn't know what he's doing, you know? And that's what makes it so fun for him. Danny just doesn't know what he's doing at all. He doesn't know why he's here. He doesn't know where we are. He doesn't know how to press the jump button in time. But he's having a good time. He's having a fun experience. Hi, Sheen. So Sheen's voice clips are glitched out. Normally he screams and screams and screams, but for some reason his voice clips are glitched out. This game does have a lot of audio glitches. I've also read multiple people having accounts on the Wii version at least of save glitch issues. But I've been unable to verify that because that's kind of a hard thing to measure, since this wasn't exactly a hyper-popular game that a lot of people talked about. And I'm not playing the Wii version, I'm playing the PS2 version, which is identical to the Wii version, by the way. They're the same thing. Just literally the same thing. And I'm thankful for that because a lot of times when I have to choose between a Wii version and a PS2 version, choosing the PS2 version turns out to be a mistake, because the Wii version turns out to be more polished and have better controls. Hey look, it's Jimmy's house. Let's bust open Jimmy's garage, why don't we? Just because we can. There's no reason to do this. Hey look, a trophy. If we collect all the trophies, we get cheat codes. I don't care. It is beyond my reasoning why you would want cheat codes in a video game like this. But anyway, we get to go in Jimmy's backyard now, and eventually down to Jimmy's lab, which is rad. Why wouldn't you want to go to Jimmy's lab? I want to go to Jimmy's lab. Let's go to Jimmy's lab. Let's go there right now. Look at Jimmy's shed, rendered lovingly in HD, even though this is a PS2 game. These are some really high quality textures for a PS2 game. So this section where we have to ride this little cart inside Jimmy's lab, actually kinda rough. Probably the roughest platforming in the game, but this isn't really a platformer, it's mostly a beat 'em up. It's actually really kinda hard to get over the obstacles and land back on the platform safely. It's a lot fucking slipperier than it looks. Takes a lot of practice. It's a short section though. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate being able to go inside Jimmy's lab. They could have just stayed on the outside of Retroville the whole time, but that wouldn't be nearly as fun. You can go inside Jimmy's lab in that terrifying Jimmy Neutron PC game as well. The one people are vaguely aware of because of the terrifying character models. But it's kind of ambitious, you know, having an open world game for Jimmy Neutron. It's a mistake, and it didn't turn out very good. But it's kind of ambitious, especially on such a small budget. Such a very small budget. Have I mentioned recently that I like video games? Because I feel like I should mention that I like video games. I enjoy video games quite a large amount. They're one of my favorite things, honestly, video games in general. One of my favorite things. There's so many video games, though. There's so many video games to share in so little time. So you gotta share a lot. You gotta share a lot of video games. And you feel good about it, because you share these video games with people who wouldn't have seen them otherwise. Like, who would think to watch a Let's Play of Nicktoons Glob of Doom? Not a lot of people, probably. but I have to share it because it's worth sharing. Hey, is it okay when you just don't like a particular boss to just kind of not bother? I mean, some of the ideas behind this boss are kind of cute. And the level design, not the level design, but the level aesthetic and the weird plant shit reminds me a lot of Death Jr. Root of Evil, which I really liked. Even though that game had design problems out the ass, but... You know, I don't like this boss so much. I feel like it takes too long and is kind of boring. The pathfinding gimmick isn't bad. The cute idea with the plant tentacles busting up more of the level isn't bad. But I feel like it just takes too long for its own good. I feel like they could fit the entire boss fight in one loop, instead of forcing me to do the same loop 3 times, where I go inside the plant. It's just a little excessive. And yeah, it's a cute gag that gets you into the plant, but it's just not necessary. It's just really bland. Probably doesn't help that I'm grinding for some reason. What am I grinding? I think I'm grinding a team attack so I can show you the SpongeBob and Technus team attack. But anyway, I don't really like this boss. I don't like it. It's not awful. It just takes too long for my tastes.
Glad it missed me that time. Oh, tartar sauce.
Come on, we've nearly got all the pieces.
The third piece. Only one more to go. Mother!
He doesn't look good.
Neither does he.
He's here! He's here! The evil one, Globulus Maximus, is here! Fish paste, are we doomed? Look!
SpongeBob's right. Here comes the jelly and we're the toast.
Not quite. By my calculations, we have just enough time to get to Poo Poo Nunu and find the last piece.